Hello, everyone, back with an IRS tax refund update. On today's episode, we will recap the latest batch of tax refunds scheduled for release this week. Meanwhile, as those tax refund delays continue for many of you, the IRS has released an update on where things currently stand, and something interesting was spotted in that update, so we'll take a look at that, as well as a recent IRS website update for those checking past tax year refunds, and we'll take a look at some of the comments and questions you have posted in regards to ongoing issues. Now, as we enter into the month of June, these tax refund delays drag on for millions who have filed their returns as early as January, in what now can be considered one of the worst, if not worst, tax seasons on record. At this point, it is impacting electronic filers just as much as paper filers and those who actually hired someone to do their taxes. It is those with very simple tax returns and some of the more complicated tax returns, so inexcusable problems across the board. Now, it has gotten to a point that many of you are not hearing any excuses or reasons about your refund delays. It's rather you're hearing nothing at all. There have been no updates to your tax transcripts, and in many cases, the IRS refund status results page is just useless in this situation. And actually, later on in the episode, we'll have a prime example of that. So, aside from the lack of actions, there is just no sense of urgency about the problems you're facing from anybody responsible. Now, we recently discussed the updates coming out of the IRS and pointed out about some discrepancies with their numbers and how it appeared the problems were being underreported. And we found another example of that. Now, 2 weeks ago, the IRS reported 9.8 million unprocessed returns, including 7.4 million paper returns needing review and processing. Now, we jump ahead to the latest IRS update, and you'll see the total unprocessed amount of tax returns did not change and remains at 9.8 million. And the amount of paper returns needing review and processing actually jumped to now 7.8 million. So all of a sudden, they now have 400,000 new paper returns that just showed up. Again, the numbers we're getting are just not accurate, and that is important because we're not getting a clear picture. All in all, completely inexcusable for all of you having to go through this. Now, not forgetting about you tax filers who are still waiting on your refunds from your year 2020 tax returns, the problems continue to persist so much that the IRS actually had to update their refund status results tracker to now let tax filers go back 2 years to track the status of their refunds. Ultimately, the problems we're seeing have been brewing for the last 2 decades, more so than just the last 2 years. And it cannot be emphasized enough how the technology factor is playing a key role in these delays. If the right technology was in place, it absolutely would have lessened the impact of those staffing issues the IRS is going through, but would have led to much quicker and effective tax return processing times and ultimately faster refunds being sent out to you. Now, checking in on some of those comments, Wendy reached out to us to let us know that after working with the taxpayer advocate, she was able to get her refund. Now, after she sent them some verification items, she received that refund 2 weeks later, and despite receiving that refund, the refund status results page still shows processing. So another example of that site being inaccurate. Again, for those of you who have not done so, do reach out to the taxpayer advocate to see if they can help, because in certain situations they can. On the topic of the taxpayer advocate, Cassandra writes, "How can you get a hold of the taxpayer advocate about my return?" You will want to go directly to the taxpayer advocate website at www.taxpayeradvocate.irs.gov and click on the Contact Us link at the top. Again, that is www.taxpayeradvocate.irs.gov. Meanwhile, Tina writes that she filed her paper tax return in March and she's not able to find any information online about it. Now, that is because when the IRS receives a paper return, they do not open it and automatically log it into the system. You unfortunately will not see any update until they begin manually processing it, which may take up to 6 months from the time you filed. If the IRS was using, say, scanning technology, in all likelihood the return would have been processed and you would have already received that refund. And finally, the next batch of tax refunds is scheduled to be released on Wednesday, June 1st. Most that are part of the batch will receive the refund the day of, while others may need to wait an additional day or two for their banks to post it to their accounts. If you've not received it by Monday, June 6th, then you may need to initiate a payment trace to locate that refund. Again, unfortunately, these problems do not appear to be going away anytime soon. Let us know in the comment section below what problem you're experiencing. And in the meantime, we will keep monitoring the situation for further developments, so make sure to click on the thumbs up and subscribe button below for future updates on this channel, and thanks for watching.